Majority says yes. Awesome. Okay, I know what I changed wrong. I was changing a couple settings in my streaming service stuff. I fixed it. We're good. Sorry about that. 4 minutes into the show, no audio. I do apologize. I will fix this in post before we do have this video go up live, whatnot. But we're good. And like I said, tonight's Smackdown was an okay show. We'll talk about the Roman Reigns, Buddy Murphy, Daniel Bryan, Rowan stuff. Talk about everything that went down with Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. What? They made Chad Gable look like such a geek. But let's see who's here with us in the live chat. We've got Deacon Owens. We do got Wrestle Geek Club. We got Kristen McNutt, Ahmed Youssef, Marcus Briston. Got another Mark, Zay S. So with all of that, I do again want to apologize for the audio not coming in there at the beginning. But let's just jump right in now and talk about SmackDown. So before we even talk about the show when it went live, this show went through a number of changes today. Apparently, about 2 hours before the show was to go live, Vince looked at the script and said, redo it. The original main event for the show was Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. That was then changed to Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods against Bryan and Rowan. Then the show was changed again to what we got is our main event match, Bryan and Rowan taking on the team of Big E and Woods, which kind of made a little more sense. But I don't know. Vince, again, 2 weeks in a row, basically rewrite the entire show. Like we've heard him, he didn't like stuff, so they did a lot of rewrites. But this was ripped up the script, new. I don't like any of it. So we'll see. But the show did open up with Charlotte Flair. And Charlotte made her way down to the ring to start off SmackDown. She noted that every time she steps into the ring, the fans are seeing greatness. Not everyone can be as great as her, and they usually quit or do something else when they don't succeed. She brought up Trish Stratus and pointed out that she left, and she said the business has now changed. Flair noted that Stratus only came back because she can't stand Flair's success. Stratus wants to come back for only one more match. She promised to shatter Stratus' dream. Flair then introduced a video package of her career highlights, and instead, the video highlighted Trish's career. Ha! Flair was unhappy with this. Stratus made her way down to the ring. She played the video to remind Flair why. She has all the history. Stratus admitted that she's dreaming of one more match. She quoted Harley Race and said there's no greater feeling than being under those bright lights. Flair welcomed Stratus to a nightmare. She promised to make Stratus bow down to the Queen at SummerSlam. Stratus slapped Flair, and they went face to face. Flair laughed and walked away. So then we learned that we would be getting Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler coming up next, but the match actually never happened. Ziggler came out to a Goldberg-like entrance and did the whole thing, including coming out of the locker room with security. Ziggler then jumped Mysterio on the floor before the match could even start. He rocked Mysterio with a super kick, and referees came down to check on Rey. Ziggler then picked him up and gave him another super kick. Ziggler then grabbed the mic and said that he's sick of all of these legends. Ziggler mocked Goldberg and said he's not next. SummerSlam is going to be Goldberg's last match. Ali's music would then hit. He ran down to check on Mysterio and then jumped into the ring. Ziggler went for a super kick, and Ali hit him with a spinning wheel kick, or heel kick, however you want to call it. He followed it up with a suicide dive, and we got Dolph versus Ali. Ali was firmly in control early and hit a rolling X Factor for a near fall. Ziggler fought back and caught Ali with an elbow. He followed it up with a hard clothesline. Ziggler set up the super kick, and Ali rolled him up for a 2. Ziggler then hit the super kick for the victory. So earlier in the day, Roman Reigns did a sit-down interview with Kayla Braxton. She asked Reigns how he's keeping it all together, how he's so composed with all the recent incidents going on in his life. He noted that he's dealt with many problems this year, but this time, he doesn't know what's going on and who the attacker is. Reigns said that WWE actually offered to give him personal security, but he feels like he doesn't need it. She asked him who he thinks the attacker is. He pointed out, I know it's not Samoa Joe. Joe was in the parking lot with me when I was attacked last night when someone rammed my car. Reigns then apologized for accusing Samoa Joe for being the attacker, which Reigns never actually accused Joe because Reigns was basically silent on the issue on social media, and it closed last week's Smackdown. So Roman never technically accused Joe. But anyways, that's neither here or there. Fans then clapped and cheered for Reigns for making the apology. He promised to get answers by the end of the night. And boy, did he wait till the very end of the night. Tom Phillips then discussed the recent passing of Harley Race. Rest in peace. They aired a tribute video, and the fans broke out in a Harley chant. We then got Ember Moon versus Natalya. It's the challenger of the Raw Women's Championship, taking on the challenger of the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Natalya had the early advantage, but Moon took over. Moon rocked Natty with a dropkick on the floor, sending her into the barricade. Natalya fought back and threw Moon into the apron. She then hit a discus clothesline and applied the sharpshooter for a double countout. Natty refused to break the hold, so Bayley ran out and pulled her off. Bayley tried to help Moon up, and she pushed Bayley out of the way. I think Bayley and Moon could be better than many are expecting. So Kevin Owens would then come out. He was wasted no time and demanded Shane McMahon come down to the ring. Greg Hamilton tried to do the best in the world entrance, and Owens cut him off. Said, no, we don't have time for that. Owens pointed out that the fans always ask why McMahon's career isn't on the line at SummerSlam. Owens noted that it's because of his last name, McMahon. McMahon can say and do whatever he wants. Owens pointed out that the McMahons promised to give the fans what they wanted. Didn't happen. He then challenged Shane to put his career on the line at SummerSlam. Shane refused. He pointed out that it was Owens that actually offered to put his career on the line. Nobody actually said, let's both put these stipulations up there. McMahon noted there's nothing wrong with losing to the best in the world. McMahon went over all the ways he can defeat Owens, including pinning him, and then Owens would have to quit. Making him tap to the triangle, then he would have to quit. Or, count out, he'd have to quit. Disqualification, he'd have to quit. Owens was frustrated that McMahon wouldn't put his career on the line. He said, we've seen you do all these death-defying things. Everyone thinks that you're this, what's the word he used? Fearless guy or something like that. But you've got no balls. Shane then said, let's not wait till SummerSlam. Let's clear the ring and get this done right now. They cleared the ring, and right as they were about to fight, Elias would then jump in. Elias would jump Owens from behind. Owens would fight him off for a minute, and then Owens threw McMahon over the announce table on the outside. Elias recovered and took a stunner on top of the announce table. Shane McMahon got his composure about him, and he took down Kevin Owens. He then shoved the announce table over Kevin Owens, so Owens was trapped under the announce table against the barricade. McMahon then threw some punches and kicks to Owens' face. He then set a chair up right in front of Kevin Owens' face and did a baseball slide drop kick into the chair into Kevin Owens' face. A couple more punches for good measure. And there we go. Referees came down to pull Shane off, and that ended the segment. Really think Kevin Owens is winning on Sunday. So Sami Zayn made his way down to the ring to address Aleister Black. Zayn noted that he issued a challenge to Black for a match at SummerSlam, but Black just hides in his little closet, in his room, in the dark. He said Black is terrified. Black would then interrupt. A camera would then pan in really closely to Black's face, as you can see him laying down, and he said, no, we're not having this match at SummerSlam, because this match is happening right now. He then did his entrance where he propped up on the board. Smoke filled the arena, the floor of the arena. And Sammy was pissed. He's like, he's probably got that mindset of, what the hell? I wasn't planning on wrestling tonight. I wanted to wrestle at SummerSlam. So we got Aleister Black versus Sami Zayn. Pretty good match. Black rocked Zayn with a kick and sent him to the floor. Black teased a dive, but posed instead. After a commercial break, Zayn was firmly in control and hit a clothesline for a 2 count. Zayn slowed down the pace with a chin lock. Black made a comeback and hit a running knee. He then hit a huge moonsault, Black followed it up with another knee and a black mass, pinning Sami Zayn. So in the back, I see Shelton Benjamin. An interviewer asked him, "You see yourself challenging for the 24/7 championship?" He looked around, said, "Well," and then walked off. The frick? Like, what? Shelton. We got Firefly Funhouse. Weird that we got it tonight but didn't get it last night. Bray Wyatt hosted. Wyatt noted that his SummerSlam opponent, Finn Balor, isn't scared of anything. Wyatt said it's all a cover-up for his insecurities. He noted that Balor invited The Fiend to his doorstep. Wyatt promised that The Fiend is coming for Balor. So then in a mind-boggling segment, in the back, Chad Gable was doing some stretches with some bands, and Elias approaches and calls him kid. Takes the bands away. Elias then said, "To step to me, you got to be this tall." Elias is maybe 3-4 inches taller than Gable, not much bigger. And he walks off, mocking him for his size, and Gable's just got this look on his face like, "Duh, what did you say? What do I do now? I'm gonna stand here and look dumb." It made him look so stupid. So stupid. So then WWE Champion Kofi Kingston sat down for an exclusive interview. Kingston discussed his 2009 feud with Randy Orton. He felt he had momentum, and the fans were behind him. But it didn't have a happy ending. They aired clips of the match where Orton called Kingston stupid. Kingston heard rumors that Orton used his power to hold Kingston down. They aired clips of Kingston winning the WWE Championship and his trip to Ghana. Basically stuff, this is like a rehashing of stuff we've already seen. They already played up the stupid thing. They've already played up the old matches they had. I don't know why I like the continuity where they're going way back, but it's just like, you already did this. We need now. We need the two face-to-face right before the pay-per-view. So Kingston uses his power to uplift people, while Orton uses his power to hold people down. He said when he wins this SummerSlam, he's going to hold up the belt. We'll see, and then we'll see how stupid he really is. Good package, but it's like, we've already seen this basically. So we got the New Day taking on Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Commentators discussed Bryan's career-changing announcement that was never made as he made his way down to the ring. Bryan jumped Woods to start the match. Woods fought back with a drop kick. Woods followed it up with a dive onto Bryan. Bryan went to the floor, and then we go to commercial break. As they come back, Bryan was in control and rocked Big E with a clothesline. The heels took over and isolated Woods on their side of the ring. Woods made a brief comeback, but Rowan fired back with a crossbody. Bryan hit a running dropkick into the corner. Rowan then tossed Woods to the floor and then went over to the barricade. Back from another commercial break, Woods hit a missile dropkick on Rowan. Big E then got the hot tag and hit 3 belly-to-belly suplexes on Daniel Bryan. He followed it up with a big splash. Bryan fought back and hit a drop kick to Big E's knee. Bryan hit a series of kicks on Big E and rolled him up for a 2. Bryan would then apply the belt lock, but Big E fought out. Bryan transitioned it into a triangle, but Big E used that to powerbomb Daniel Bryan. Rowan then hit a big kick for a 2 count. Big E knocked down Rowan, and Woods hit an elbow off the top for 2. Big E then speared Bryan off the apron. Woods attempted a dive, and Rowan hit him with the stairs for the disqualification. After the match, Rowan gave Big E the Iron Claw, and Bryan took out Woods with a running knee. So with about 3 to 4 minutes left in the show, we see Roman Reigns in the back. Roman's walking around, and he sees the men's locker room. He walks in and yells everybody out. As Buddy Murphy goes to stand up from the couch, he says, "But you, sit back down." So Roman grabs a chair, sits right in front of Buddy Murphy, and says, "I need some answers. Was it you? You've been the one doing this." And he's like, "It wasn't me." He said, "Then who was it?" And Murphy's just like, "I don't know. I don't know who it was." Roman gets up, moves the chair, and goes, I'm going to give you one last opportunity. Tell me, who was it? Buddy Murphy. The camera gets scary close right into Buddy Murphy's face. And he just goes, I don't know. And he smirks and goes, even if I did know, I wouldn't tell you. Roman proceeds to beat the crap out of him. Just beats the holy hell out of him. Pushes him against the wall and goes, tell me now, who was it? And he goes, Rowan. And he goes, what? Roman's like, what? And he goes, it was Rowan. He goes, like Rowan and Daniel Bryan? And Murphy goes, well, I saw Rowan, but I didn't see Daniel Bryan. So then it cuts back to the ring where Daniel Bryan and Rowan are watching this on the big screen. Daniel Bryan looks disgusted and Rowan's deadpan. So with that, it looks like Rowan is behind the attacks on Roman Reigns. And we'll see what happens with Daniel Bryan. They still talked about the quote-unquote career-altering announcement from Daniel Bryan, which is weird how this all ties together. A career-altering announcement. He may be behind the attacks on Roman Reigns. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But as of right now, both Bryan and Roman don't have a match for SummerSlam. And it almost doesn't look like it can be Bryan and Roman unless something happens on social media, because as we're supposed to believe per Buddy Murphy, Rowan was there and was involved in the attacks, but Bryan was not around. So how we get to SummerSlam, I have no clue. How Roman gets a match, how Bryan gets a match, I don't know. But that was Smackdown Live. A very interesting show nonetheless. Thought the show was okay. Just looking at the chat before we do wrap things up. Not going to be able to take calls tonight. Nelson says, when's the video on betting odds for TakeOver Toronto this Saturday? There are no betting odds. I've looked into it, and Skybet did not put out any betting odds. I can look on a couple other sites, but as of right now, there are no betting odds for TakeOver this Sunday. It's very rare when there are actual NXT betting odds. So just letting you guys know on that one. We will have an updated betting odds for SummerSlam either tomorrow or Thursday, and then we'll go from there. Again, tomorrow we will also have the PWUnlimited Wednesday show, where we will be doing our predictions for both TakeOver and SummerSlam. Nick should be on the show. As of right now, he's scheduled. But again, if something happens and Nick's got to work, Nick's not going to make it. Happens. That's his priority. As far as if he gets hours, tell him take them hours. So with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here, talking Smackdown Live. If you cannot watch this show live, then you can watch it right here on YouTube later. And if you guys don't like to watch it on YouTube, you can listen later on podcast services all around the globe. We're on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio. So again, we will see you guys live tomorrow with the PWUnlimited Wednesday show. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you then.